Now, college football game night, preseason special, presented by Quality Fence of Southern Oregon.
College football is so back, and surprise, we're back for another season with you all as well. We can't wait to get things rolling. Thanks for joining us for our preseason special. I'm Peyton Manning.
And I'm Madison Marie. We've got a full show for you tonight, talking all things Southern Oregon Raiders, Oregon Ducks, and Oregon State Beavers.
We'll dive into the Ducks and Beavers in a few, but let's kick off the night with our friends over in Ashland, taking a look back at their success last year.
The Raiders had an incredible 2023 season, coming off of their first winning record since 2018. In his first year as head coach, Burke Brown and his staff helped lead the Raiders to a 6-4 overall record and a 5-3 record in the Frontier Conference.
In their 6 wins, SOU outscored their opponents 235-72, including a win over a top 5 ranked team for the first time since 2017. Concluding the season, star defensive end Noah Turnbull was named Frontier Conference Defensive Player of the Year, the first player in program history to be honored. And we, of course, can't forget about the 2024 Mills Bowl.
The Raiders welcomed in KGU fighters from Japan for the first time since 1988. That week, SOU was the only team in the country to line up in front of another team during spring ball.
From the opening kick to the final whistle, the Raiders had control of the game the whole way through, and the star of the night, Gunnar Yates.
The incoming sophomore rushed 14 times for 145 yards, racking up 5 touchdowns en route to the Raiders' 54-24 victory.
Yates became the first Raider to punch in 4 rushing touchdowns in 10 years and the first with 5 total since 2013. Safe to say the Raider will have a standout season coming back from a year off.
And SOU enters this year with a top 5 spot in the FC, coming in at number 3. This is the first time in 5 years that SOU has received a top 3 spot.
And why is this 2024 team ranked in the top 3? Let's dive right in.
Hey, it's time to rock and roll. Let's go to work. Raiders, hit me 1 time. Hit me 2 times. What you built on? Who we riding with? Who's got that juice? Feels good. Yeah. We on 3. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 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 Hey, do you want to be on TV right now? Well, just look to the camera real quick. Say hi to Mom. Hi, Mom. You don't have to scream. I'm mic'd up. Oh, hi, Mom. There you go. Remember what I said in meetings, right? The devil's in the details. Be detail-oriented today. Focus on the process. Snap by snap, rep by rep. We're in fastball matriculation. Ball on the far side. We on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Let's go. Lion, lion. Ball's moving, ball's moving, ball's moving. Gotta go, gotta go. Come on, 5-5. Come on. Keep them on your left shoulder. Post them up. Exactly. Exactly. You feel the difference, Damon? That is exactly what we want. Hey, Dashel. Dashel.
That's not what he wanted.
I'm in your head, aren't I? Ooh. I need to line you up at safety, dog. Good. Here you go, Eli. Bang. That a kid. Great rep, dude. That a boy, Eli. I love you. I'm proud of you. We're out of here. We on 3. 1, 2, 3. We. Help! Special out!
The boys are so back, but now let's get into the fun part and break down each position group. But before we start with the quarterback room, we have to first start with the Raiders' new offensive coordinator.
Former OC Greg Stewart left SOU to take an opportunity at the University of Arizona, sending him to the desert.
Coach Brown quickly filled the role with an in-house hire, promoting quarterbacks coach Ty Curry to lead the offense.
The Raiders' offense will look primarily the same, and that includes the QB who ended the 2023 season.
If you can remember back to last year, the Raiders had a QB battle during fall camp, pushing back the final decision of QB1 to the start of game week.
Luckily for the Raiders, that question was answered in the spring ball game, and Blake Asciutto has the starting job.
The starting role for Blake Asciutto has been a few years in the making. The incoming senior has been pushed to second string to begin his past 2 years, but always found himself taking the snaps mid-season.
Asciutto has consistently put in the work both on and off the field to earn this spot, and his confidence is starting to show. But the QB room has depth which keeps the levels of competition high.
Ashuto is heading a group of 5 QBs consisting of Connor Gradewell, Brennan Stoltz, Dashel Smith, McCade Long, and freshman Seth Stevens, all of which who are chomping at the bit to get some snaps this season.
I'm trying to still think QB2, like no matter what, let's always have the chip on the shoulder, and once you start thinking your QB1 is when you're going to get passed up for sure.
Yeah, you can see Blake's confidence is just oozing out of him right now. He's not only performing in between the white lines right now, but the time he's spending with Coach Curry in the meeting rooms, in film, on the whiteboard, like you can tell he wants to be the guy. And, you know, he's getting pushed too. Like, you know, Brennan and McCade Long had big touchdowns thrown today. So, you know, the job is his, but there are people nipping at his heels right now.
But what else makes the quarterback's job a little easier? The playmakers, the receiving corps. Coach Engweg back in charge of the receivers with the help of former Raider Bryce Goggin.
The Raiders are returning a few magic makers this season, vets that include Sawyer Cleveland, Adric Lamar, and Rin Kaneshiro, all of which accounted for 778 total receiving yards last season. But don't forget about the tight ends who help add versatility to the talented group of receivers.
Jackson Clemmer, Ted Wickman, and Jeremiah Falsick are all key names to remember this season. And with a big group of returners, the vets are taking it upon themselves to lead the younger generation of receivers.
There's a group of us, myself, Adric, Sawyer. We've been here for years now. All have a lot of experience playing, so I think just using our knowledge and understanding of the playbook to bring the young guys along is the first step, and then leading by example is a big one. I think for me, you know, when I was a young guy, I always looked at those guys that just led by example, didn't have to say a lot sometimes, but just did the right thing all the time, and that's something that I think all three of us do a really good job of. So.
We are the RKO. We're the Raider knockout offense, and we just can't lose time and patience on trying to be, I would say, too cute out there. We just got to do our thing and play with our pads and have fun.
But along with the passing game, the Raiders will also feature a strong rushing attack led by sophomore Gunnar Yates.
Yates had a standout freshman season with the Raiders, piling up 607 total rushing yards on 100 carries. However, Yates had to take a seat last season due to an injury.
But Yates couldn't be back at a better time as the Raiders lost senior Champ Robertson and first-team All-Frontier running back Avery McQuaig, who led the Raiders on the ground with 76.9 rushing yards a game, totaling 14 touchdowns on the season.
With the help from a few other Raiders such as senior Isaiah Hidalgo and sophomore Glenn Leith Ross, Yates and the Raiders' run game should be able to piece together a dominant and dynamic ground game.
A bunch of personnel changes, bunch of formation, shift, trade, motion. We're very multiple. We just got to fight to be consistent within that.
Just doing my part, you know, breaking away when I can. They got me in the slot a little bit. Hopefully some wildcat, just mixing it up because they know we're going to run it. They know who's going to, so just trying to mix it up, give me the slot or something.
The quarterbacks, receiving corps, and running backs wouldn't be able to do their job without the backbone of the offense, the offensive linemen. Tim Suzo is stepping in as O-line coach this year, coming from Luther College as an assistant coach and offensive coordinator.
Souza is working with an elite group of offensive linemen full of veteran leaders including Gustavo Mendez, Braden Reed, Duncan Hicks, and Nick Espinoza. Souza says a group that has this type of chemistry, physical strength, technical skill, and mental sharpness is every coach's dream. And now his job is to step in and take this group to the next level.
Room that's deep with veteran guys with all conference honors, right? And so it's my job to help them find that next level. This isn't a group where we're going to take them from a 2 to a 10. This is a group that's already at a 9, and I'm trying to push them to a 9.5, 10.5, and see where we can really go. So we've got such a special group.
I think for me, we're a veteran group of guys. We all know each other. We've all been together through all the coaching staffs now with all the coaching changes at offensive line. But I think the biggest reason I keep staying and keep staying at Southern Oregon, this love for the game and this for the love of like my guys around me. The guys I've been around with, like I said, 4 years, 4 different coaches, and they're the reason I'm still here today.
Welcome back to College Football Game Night Preseason Special on Newswatch 12, presented by Quality Fence of Southern Oregon.
We're back, and it's time to talk about the Southern Oregon defense. Tyler Stinn is back for another year, and so is his animalistic style defense.
Coach Stinn's defense takes control of any offense they come against, which is why the Raiders D allowed an average of only 19 points a game last season. This year, the goal is to lower that number, and that starts up front with the defensive line.
SAU graduated many stars on defense, one of them being defensive lineman and Frontier Conference Defensive Player of the Year, Noah Turnbull.
Not having Turnbull on the line is a big loss for the Raiders. However, a key returner is edge rusher Adonis Jackson. AJ lit up opposing offenses, accounting for 31 total tackles on the year.
The Raiders will need some freshmen and transfers to step up and be a focal point on the line. Coach Stin confident in his defensive front line that they'll be a wall.
D-line wise, Adonis, that guy's coming back and he's going to be a force. I think we got some good transfers and some other freshmen that are going to step up in some ways that we need at that D-line spot. So we're going to be pretty deep. I know it's hard to replace, but I think we got the guys.
The returners, we kind of know what we're doing, but we kind of got to get back to that mode. Being a returning sophomore with this program, I got to step up. We got 4 or 5 seniors. I got to take that role and step up for these young guys.
Moving through the defense, we hit one of the most crucial and dynamic positions, the linebacking core.
This season, senior Ty Glumbick and sophomore Iona Purcell are back in taking charge of this position group yet again.
Purcell had a standout freshman season with the Raiders, averaging 5.4 tackles a game. Glumbick right behind, averaging 4.7.
Both Raiders hoping to lead by example this season with a blended group of vets and newcomers in the defense.
Everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes too still, and just showing that it's about how you respond to those and how you come out the next day. But like I said, everyone's here for each other, and that's mainly what I'm doing, getting to know people on a personal level.
Trying to use my voice more for the defense, not only the defense, but off the field as well, and with creating bonds with everybody else on the team.
And bring in the secondary, the quarterbacks of the defense. The Raiders have a lot of talent in the secondary. However, an important missing name is Spencer Cuffle.
Cuffle had a league-high 6 interceptions, returning 2 for touchdowns. Cuffle sidelined this year with an injury after the Mills Bowl. So the job of securing the defensive backfield is up for grabs.
The Raiders secondary played a key role in allowing an average of only 19 points a game. The goal this season is to lower that, and with the depth the position group has, the Raiders will be yelling TBD all season long.
I think us having more depth and guys to move around at different positions is going to help our secondary. I know early in the season last year we had a little bit of trouble in our secondary, but as the season went on we made our adjustments, and now we're seeing where those adjustments need to be made this year, and we're already ahead of the game right now.
A lot of people kind of knew our identity. We had seniors and a lot of people that had been playing, a lot of faces they've seen. We got a lot of new faces on the defense, people that can make plays that they don't know about, and we might catch some people by surprise.
Welcome back to College Football Game Night Preseason Special on News Watch 12, presented by Quality Fence of Southern Oregon.
The University of Oregon experienced major changes over the offseason, the biggest being joining a new conference.
So long, Pac-12. Hello, Big Ten. Oregon Athletics now officially members of the Big Ten.
And with the new conference comes a whole new set of challenges.
Or should we say big opponents? Let's take a look back at Oregon's last season in the Conference of Champions.
After announcing their departure from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten in August of 2023, the Ducks went on to end their West Coast tour with a bang, finishing the year undefeated at Autzen Stadium and nearly perfect in conference play, only dropping 1 game to Washington earlier in the season.
The Ducks rode their luck all the way to the final Pac-12 championship game, falling short to the Huskies once again in Las Vegas. The loss pushed Oregon out of the national championship playoffs, securing Washington a top 4 spot.
But Oregon's story didn't end in heartbreak after defeating Liberty 45-6 in the Fiesta Bowl, ending the 2023 season 12-2 overall.
A long offseason quickly comes to an end as the University of Oregon becomes official members of the Big Ten Conference on August 2nd. Oregon leaving behind history dating back to the summer of 1964 when the Ducks joined the Pac-8.
Despite the name, Oregon becomes one of 18 teams in the Big Ten. The big logo now replacing the Pac-12 logo at Autzen Stadium, and the Ducks staring eye to eye with a 2024 season full of new opponents. All Oregon student athletes will face new experiences when it comes to travel and stepping onto different college campuses.
Lanning saying he's excited about the transition for his team.
Should the Big Ten know about Oregon? That we're mighty different. Mighty different in a lot of ways. You look out there in the pond, you'll see a big old duck. I'm hoping we get to travel that duck to all of our away games this year. Right? We're mighty different when it comes to the jerseys you might see us wear or the facilities that we get to be in, and we're innovative. And we've always been on the cutting edge of everything we do. We're certainly positioning ourselves to be in the cutting edge, and we're grateful for the opportunity to compete in the Big Ten.
A big difference fans can expect to see this upcoming season, Oregon's offense. A new look in the quarterback room after losing Bo Nix to the NFL.
Oklahoma transfer Dylan Gabriel expected to be the Ducks' starting guy under center, but the depth chart also includes UCLA transfer Dante Moore. The Ducks also lost receiver Troy Franklin and running back Bucky Irving to the league.
Lanning putting an emphasis on the guys in the trenches this preseason. The new O-line is ranked among one of the nation's best, according to Pro Football Focus, especially when it comes to the physicality and strength at the tackle position. Johnny Cornelius and Josh Connerly Jr. are expected to make waves on the line for the Ducks.
And to add to an implosive new offense, the Ducks defense is bringing the heat to the Midwest. Oregon returns a majority of their starters in the D block, plus newbies in the #2 transfer portal class in the nation. Dan Lanning has a background of coaching national championship defenses.
He and defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoy are cooking up a nightmare for Big Ten offenses. The Ducks' edge rush will play a big factor in the defense this year as returners like defensive end Jordan Birch, outside linebacker Tuioti, and defensive end Mateo Uiagalelei look to add to their resume.
Oregon's defense was ranked in the top 3 of all major Pac-12 categories last year with the leadership of linebacker Jeffrey Bassa.
Come back to College Football Game Night Preseason Special on Newswatch 12, presented by Quality Fence of Southern Oregon.
Oregon State feeling the pressure as they're put in a position they never imagined was even possible.
Yeah, rebuilding the Pac-12. The Beavers and Cougars are the only remaining members of the conference.
Both stepping into a difficult situation with their heads held high after an impressive season last year.
Oregon State began their 2023 season with a new face under center and Clemson quarterback transfer DJ Uiagalelei. The Beavers started on a hot streak, winning 3 of their first games by holding their opponent to 2 touchdowns or less.
By the time the conference play rolled around, it was a roller coaster ride for Oregon State. They finished Pac-12 play with a 5-4 record, including a dramatic loss to Oregon in the final matchup between the two schools, while both were in the same conference.
The Beavs wrapped up the year with a loss in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl to Notre Dame and called it a season with an 8-5 overall record.
The offseason brought a lot of questions and speculations for Oregon State. 10 schools left the Pac-12 for other conferences. Now only 2 remain in the Conference of Champions, Oregon State and Washington State.
The complete destruction of the conference hurt the Beavs roster as players such as DJU and Damian Martinez parted ways with the program. But not only did the roster fall apart, so did the coaching staff.
OSU alum Jonathan Smith announced he accepted the head coaching job at Michigan State. Days later, the university announced defensive coordinator Trent Bray as the new head coach.
With that, let me introduce to you our own number 44 and your new head football coach, Trent Bray. As I said, number 44. There you are, buddy.
Heading into this season, the Beavers are back in the same position they were in last year. Who will be starting quarterback? The quarterback room, including 5th-year Ben Gulbranson, Idaho transfer Giovanni McCoy, and redshirt freshman Jabari Johnson.
Yet one place the Beavers can count on for consistency is the offensive line. Joshua Gray leading the O-line for nearly half a decade in Corvallis. Gray now transitioning to an interior O-line position this season as the team looks to fill both tackle spots.
As for the Oregon State defense, it is shaping up to be a major factor in their success. The Beavers' defensive line is poised to be a dominant force with standout players like Simisi Saluni and LSU transfer Taiji Hill.
The linebacking corps will be a strength on this Oregon State defense, and it's expected to be dynamic in both pass coverage and run support, with Melvin Jordan as leading inside tackle and Olu Omadosho showing up as a force on the outside.
Getting into the defensive backfield, the Beavers secondary will be dynamic, featuring a mix of experienced upperclassmen and promising newcomers. The Beavers will rely on Liberty transfer Kobe Singleton and vet Jaden Robinson to lock down opposing receivers and provide crucial support against the pass.
And thank you for joining us for our kickoff to the 2024-2025 college football season.
Stick with us. Friday Night Blitz preseason special is straight ahead.